can you come up to here and place Jolly in the bed? Yes. Okay. I don't even know if that's the correct bed, but I do think it's the correct order in which I asked them to put them in the beds. So, yeah. Okay. There we go. If they can bring them up here, we can keep attending to them and somebody else can have their beds. I don't really mind that. I did that with Turk. And then later Turk can fuck off somewhere else. Like we lost Nikki and Nikki was on the death list. If anybody was wondering, whenever people in my colony kind of like multiple tantrum, they slowly get their life privileges revoked and eventually they will end up in a point where they can't get medical care and they will die. That is basically how that works. I don't know if you are going to get any kind of like feeding or anything. You're not like malnourished or anything, but I need to find somebody to work on this wall. Armadillo is doing construction. I need you. When you're done with that, I need you to work on this. I know we might not have all the resources for this, but I literally don't give a shit. Just get somebody up on this and I'll see if I can find Chimpanzee. He's probably gone to bed. But if I can find Des Dodsworth, he is going to bed. Okay, we'll leave them alone and we'll grab a night timer instead. I'm looking for silverware primarily, but I'm also open to Lincoln if I can spot him. And I don't see them, but they could just be down in here somewhere. So if they're not yet out of the beds, they're probably still up here. There's Chimpanzee, he has gone to bed, and I don't see what's her face up here, which means she's down here somewhere. She's down in the colony doing something. And I don't know what it is. There's Lincoln. He's like doing cooking like exclusively lately. It's interesting. Ow. Anyway, I tried not to sneeze, end up sneezing, so that's fine. Anywho, I couldn't mute that. I had like no warning that was happening. Yeah, I normally have like 3 settings for sneeze. Unfortunately, I've got that, which is suppressor. We've got actual cute small sneeze, and then we've got paint the wall sneeze. So I kind of like, I don't know, something like irritated me, like a cat fur maybe fluffed up my nose or something. I know something can build. Get your cheeks here as well. We don't have marble blocks. Well, guess what you're going to be doing? Cannot work on, not assigned to crafting. I'll tell you what, that's probably true. But I probably have like somebody else in this area that might be able to do it. Maybe. Let's see. I'm growing into dad sneeze despite the fact that I'm not a father. I think it's just like a point in time where you need to like clean out like your sinuses and airways and vocal cords, and your body just goes, I'm just going to check this now at some point. Cute sneeze and paint the wall sneeze. How do you phrase that? I mean, it's true though. Also, welcome in, Velvet. Like I used to like look at my dad when he'd sneeze, and he always did this like sneeze that was like, I don't know, it was very much a mouse sneeze, and he'd like turn his head to obviously not sneeze on like us or the table or something like that, but he would literally like spray paint the cat sitting beside the bench, like the table and stuff, and we'd all feel so fucking sorry for it because like the cat's just sitting there, the next minute it's just like washed in sneeze. And like I just kind of like, we always had this like term for it being like paint the wall kind of thing, because it's like you turn around and like spray paint the wall essentially. And yeah, and then the alternative is like, you know how like I squeak and stuff when I'm spooked? A lot of my like natural reactions and responses and stuff are like pretty like minor and very like subdued and stuff, and because of that, like sometimes I will like react in that way where it's kind of like it's very, very small kind of sound will come out of me. And yeah, so there's the alternatives to the sneeze, and it really just depends. Like, and then other times like that where I'm like halfway between, because I've tried to inhale as I've tried to sneeze, and therefore I've like stifled it by accident, but it's painful because it's gone all my sinuses feel like they've just been erupted at once. I don't know how else to put that. Also, did you guys end up putting them down? You did. Cool. And something's gone kaboom. I will check on that in just a second. Did you... Yeah? Probably should stop doing that in this area, guys. I know it's also snowing too, so... I was right, this area does snow. So, yeah. So, fair enough. Hello. Yeah. Oh my god, my dad used to do that. He would aim up and just rain on swords. Freaking hated it. That is... See, at least my dad turned and, like, tried to face away. Like, occasionally he'd accidentally get the cat because the cat was right there. Right, that happened. But, like... yeah. It was more like the cat was, like, stealth. And we just didn't know it was there kind of thing. He never did it, like, purposely. Yeah, turning around and doing that to, like, your kids and your family and stuff, there's choices there. You can't do smelting, but Seahorse can probably do crafting, right? No, you just can't do crafting at all. It's fine. Did we swap this? Yes. Can we put weapons up a little bit higher? We'll put the weapons up a bit higher, and the smelting apparel is still important, but it can wait a moment. We'll always have apparel, but we won't always have bi-coated weapons, you know? So they're gonna put this shit out and we'll see how we go. Oh my god, yuck. That was horrible. It's always on purpose every time. I think that's when, like, you know that you're gonna sneeze, though. Like, if you know you're gonna sneeze and you want to weaponize it and stuff, like, that's a difference. Like, I don't know. Okay, when I started streaming, there was, like, two things that I noticed immediately that I do a lot, and I was never aware of it until I started streaming, was apparently I sneeze a fair bit and I yawn a lot. And obviously, like, as time has gone on, I also kind of cough a bit whenever I've been sick and stuff. It, like, just lingers longer and gets more irritated because I'm using my vocal cords and stuff. But I figured out pretty fast that the reason why I was, like, sneezing so much was because as I'm talking constantly, I am moving, like, my face and my mouth, right? And also the sound of words coming out of my mouth are also technically vibrating through, like, my cheeks, my face, up into, like, my nose, throat, all that kind of stuff, which is also why I cough occasionally. So knowing that, like, I kind of know that I'm gonna cough or sneeze at some point in stream, which is why I have a mute button. But I don't always get to the mute button fast enough. Like, sometimes when I'm just, like, streaming away and stuff, I'll sometimes, like, cough out of the blue because, like, yeah. I know you're coming to tend to silverware, and that is pretty important. Can I get you work on McJolly and then tend to Farrell? Because how is silverware? She's otherwise fine. I think she might just need food. And these two have got issues. And this guy, after you work on Farrell, can I add you to Turk as the list as well? And then that way we get all three of these guys. I don't know how many times I've got to work on them with muscle parasites before they're better. I thought it was 3. But I'm guessing it's maybe 5. Because if it's not that, they're just stuck laying down all the time. And I'm pretty sure they're not completely, like, gone. I'm pretty sure they can get up. Mind you, that old gunshot in the head is questionable. But I have seen you walk, so should be fine. Yeah, anyway, that, and at one point, like, my house was, like, really dusty, and also whenever it's in, like, the in-between seasons when, like, the cats start shucking their fur off kind of thing, that's when I'm more likely to have a sneeze, especially if I've just patted one, which I had just patted Phoenix, so I know he shucks some fur off into the atmosphere. He's sitting here getting pats at the moment. He's loving every second of it. He's enjoying the warmth of the room, because it's not like it's heated, but it is definitely warmer than the rest of the house. And yeah, at some point I'll start warming this room more than anywhere else, and he'll want to be in here more. I also want to move some shit around. They moved these, but we couldn't move that. And I got one of these in here, and I was going to move... We've got the other ones that are coming down as well. I was thinking about building another one because we're gonna do armor. You don't even have stuff on you. I want to make, like, flak shit eventually, but at the moment, shredding Mechs is a priority. And what else do we have? We had everything else was, like, on a 10. We were making prosthetics and shit, but not just yet. Not until we've got everything's in place in the colony. As long as I can shred a mech. And yeah, at some point we're gonna allocate that they can make all of the prosthetics and a lot of the guns, a lot of the better guns, like the sniper rifle and the miniguns and stuff like that. I make a lot of them. I also like the LMGs and the SMGs and shit, but we couldn't have them for ages. We'll make some shield belts eventually. We'll make some flak shit eventually. We were making simple helmets, and I think we were making like some EMP stuff at one point, and then we realized that we didn't have anything to go in it. We'll make some grenades and some EMP launchers, which, by the way, I will let them make those again. Not forever. Holy fuck nuts, no. Okay, just try to make 10, because a couple of people are wearing them and a couple of people are not, and I just want to figure out who's got the things. I also want to bring this in. I didn't mean to remove that, but I just want to bring in these zones just a little bit. And I did it again. Anyway, the fuck is everybody else up to, I guess? I don't know. It's been kind of nice chilling with Asora, honestly. It's been a nice, like, slower, calmer ass pace, you know? Where everything's not, like, pure, absolute chaos. Has been quite nice. Did we finish building this? Not yet. What about Nick? Can you do construction? Yeah, you can. After you eat, I'll get you back. Oh no, Lumi was coming for that. It's okay. Lumi might still come down for this, but I'll get you to work on these bits, because once this is done, we should have most of this place built. And then it will be enclosed, and then whoever decides to sleep down here shouldn't hopefully die of hypothermia, because outdoors and cold. Because it is now cold. Nice to return to roots kind of thing. It's, oh shit, hold on. You might want a different bed, mate. How about we kick you out of there for like a few minutes? What are you weeing about? Fucking hell. Alright, let's let that back in there. I don't want somebody sleeping in that room if I could avoid it. I just needed to check that. It's not so much like a back to the roots kind of thing. It's just that I prefer this kind of pace of streaming. Like, I do enjoy doing like a one-hit sort of event kind of thing that's kind of like a different pace for a week and allows people to kind of experience a different side of like the game or how I play and stuff. Because like I said last week, there'd be a lot of people that would have liked to have seen like, you know, the fast pace, get shit done, everybody moving a mile a minute kind of thing that I don't usually play as. And a lot of people would want that and stuff. But I much prefer like this kind of more relaxed kind of casual pace where I can have a conversation and catch up with you guys and say hello and stuff. Because it's, for me, like as much as I like what I'm playing, it is never really about the game. It's about like the community and stuff and how I kind of like feel about like the stream and how like what I got up to and shit, the conversations that I had and the time spent and stuff. Like that matters more to me than like, you know, chasing the popular game or doing the thing that people kind of, I guess, want and expect sort of thing. Like, it's just more sort of chill sort of thing, which is kind of nice. I also think I allocated you two to that, so that's fine. You know, the friends we made along the way. Well, sort of. It's more of like, I don't know, I prefer to be able to have a conversation. Like, there was at least 2 hours during the Build-a-thon event near the end that was just pure death. Everybody was just dying non-stop all the time. And there was nothing I could really do about that but kind of like keep up with the commentary on what was going on. But there was no like conversations and stuff. There was no like, hey, how you going? What you up to kind of stuff. And when I asked that, I know that a lot of people ask that and it's really generic and shit. But I actually fucking want to know. Like, it's totally fine if you guys don't want to tell me and you want to keep it vague and shit. That's fine. But, like, I'm actually asking because, like, I'd like to know what you've been up to and, you know, what you're doing and all that sort of shit, you know. If I wasn't dead, I would have hung around longer. Yeah, it was fine. I think we got your guy. Your guy almost died, and then we got him onto the ship, so it's fine. You did technically leave orbit, but I don't know if you left orbit with all of your body parts. I'm not 100% sure about that because you really nearly died at one point. The problem I had with that colony is I didn't realize that we ran out of food. Like, when I enclosed them all into the, all the walls and shit, I kind of, stop them from making food at that point, and we technically could have kept making food. I know that now, but I didn't know that when we were doing it. I didn't know if we were going to be good. And yeah, so as a result, we ended up like everybody was starvation and malnourishment and all that sort of stuff, and they were all freaking out and stuff. And I was like, why the fuck is everybody trying to kill each other? Like, I had no time between anything to actually look. That's how insane it was at one point. It was just non-stop tantrum slaughterer, berserk murderer, non-stop. And you guys know the rules of my colonies and stuff, right? Is go berserk, you go murderer, stuff like that. Your life privileges get revoked, and they keep getting revoked until like you eventually die. There were people that was like getting up into like the really like low to hand medicine kind of stuff, and I'm like, these people have been gone for a while, and you know, they'd be like upset in like hospitals, and yeah, it was just mayhem. All of mechanoid bits. No, I mean, like, you nearly got killed at one point. I think you either had like a psychic thing or something, and you decided to fuck off out into a pile of mechs, and then nobody could save you, or that was another person and you were the one inside that was like constantly getting beaten the shit out of. One of the two. What do we get? This expire? Hold on. I want to see the world. They just barely missed it. And they just nearly arrived too. Fuck. I do want to go to this, but I don't know if we've got enough time for them to get to it. What was in this one? That had the structures. And this had Glitter World Medicine, but it had men hunting raccoons, which I do think that they could take that. I do think 17 people versus X number of raccoons could do it, but I don't think we've got enough food for them to do it. How long is it going to say? 2.5 or 3 days. They might maybe be able to make it. For Glitter World Medicine against raccoons, that's not too bad. Although it is winter. Nah, let's say fuck that. We'll bring you guys back. This whole trip for them going out there was just to see if we could hit the 2 stashes, but it took them too long to leave. And because it's winter, it's taking them twice as long to fucking move. So that is a shame. They should be able to get home without hitting starvation though, because they only had about 7 days worth of food when they went out. It's only been a couple of days. That both sound like you. Well, look, there was so many people that were just coming in and starting shit and dying. Like, there was a lot of lenses, there was a lot of Alexes. Who the fuck else was in there? There was a lot of nukes as well that were, all 3 of them were just like going colossal, but I also had like at least 10 of each of them. And I only lost like a couple of individual people's like colonists, and there was only a couple that didn't like respawn another colonist. Hey, if I can give you some pats. Once it wakes up, I can tap and stretching paws. Unfortunately not as happily Viking. Your Arctic Wolf has passed away in game. So we had a Scyther mech raid earlier, and it got caught up in amongst that. So yeah, it's one of those ones where I had a few older animals, like bonded animals, die, and they just weren't the original ones. So it was unfortunate. I did lose 2 colonists as well in amongst that battle as well. And almost lost cheddar, which, by the way, we should install the other iron cheddar at some point. We'll see how we go. This is almost enclosed. I should almost be able to put a roof on it. Maybe we can put a bit on it at the moment. I think I only had 1, but you could make him strong. Yeah, he was the only one of himself, and he did have like a lot of bionic stuff, and he had like decent guns and shit, but Kilon was really like ripping our colony apart. So like Kilon kept dropping raids on us in between the other raids for like the building the ship quest. So like, you know, the other thing too was all the raids. You know how like I tried to build like a kill corridor for like the first time as well, because I don't do that. And so like nothing really went in the corridor, but everything destroyed all the turrets and shit on the outside. So they were useless, but we couldn't get out to fix them. And then whenever somebody had like a psychic wandering, they'd go into a room that had like an X on the door because this was working. But they'd get in there regardless of whatever their mental break was, and then they'd get stuck in a room that they weren't supposed to be in, and they couldn't get out because they're out of the mental wandering and shit. And then, yeah, the only spot we had food was in with the cats, and I wouldn't open up the door because I was afraid that the colonists would just kill the cats. One of the cats got into space as well, and we released 2 of them. We released a lot of the animals that weren't like bonded, and there was like 2 nuke dragon ones that were bonded but not renamed, and yeah, so they didn't come with us. It was the ones that were named, so we had like a bunch of animals go as well. We had like 40 something colonists get into space, which was nuts. We had like 150 people die, which is ironically more than I have in this fucking colony ever die. I've had like 80 colonists die, and I had like 150 in that 1 week event die. It was nuts. Looks at the ground Viking tells slowly. Howls? No. I'm sorry, Viking. It's just, yeah, it was after the battle, after it looked like everybody was good, and there was like a few animals that had like 3 hours, but they were like getting tended to down here and stuff where they're not supposed to be. And at the time, the closest medicine we had was up here, and we didn't have any like heal root. We didn't have any green medicine for the animals and stuff, so it was just them tending to them like with the hands and stuff, like no medicine and stuff. It was just not going to happen. And yeah, unfortunately, Crook did die, which was Viking's Arctic Wolf in game. The cannon fodder doing its job. I mean, they were killing each other though, Jackal. They weren't fucking doing any fodder business. They were just killing each other because everybody was starving, and nobody was like willing to like, I don't know, go and grow a crop. The other thing too is we had some fucking hilarious stuff. So we had, okay, everybody was starving, but I couldn't grow crops because the closest thing I could grow in a hydroponic thing was rice, which was going to be in 3.3 days or something, but we only had 3 days left. Same with, I think I asked for chem fuel at one point because I wanted to play with the fire swarm rockets or whatever they're called, these things. Yeah, rocket swarm launchers. And I think Atlantis sent us like fucking 10 infinite chem reactors and shit, and it said that they could only make them every 9 days, and we were down to like 7 or some shit at that point. And I'm like, okay, I can't do anything with that either, so fucking hell, Mop. Thank you for the resub, man. What are you up to? It has been a hot minute. I feel like it's been a week and a bit. I don't know, it's probably been a bit longer than that, I don't know. Yeah, what are you up to, man? Yeah, there was just like a few things where we were just slightly out of time to be able to get the things. Otherwise, I could have done more. And same with like the food and stuff. I had to like dart out of like the safety of the barricades and shit a couple of times to try to harvest wild berries and shit in amongst Keelon's like raid bombardments and crap, just to try to get food for the colony. Or people started feeding fucking corpses to everybody, and yeah, it was a bit of an issue. And then on top of that, I wanted them to cremate the corpses of the fallen, and instead of cremating the corpses of the fallen, they decided to start the cremation process of all corpses on the battlefield instead. And I'm like, this is going to take forever, there's hundreds out here, kind of thing. So yeah, that didn't go very far. I had to like sort it down to them only being allowed to do it to the colonists themselves and shit. So yeah. Yeah, what have you been up to, Mup? I assume you've been working. I assume that always. Yeah, I'm just kind of talking about the Build-a-thon event we did last week, which was just insane because I had to try to build a ship in 5 days and get that shit off the ground with as many colonists as I could. So I also don't know why there's a guinea pig in here. I don't know if that's stuck in here, but I'm assuming it is. Although, hold on, it might be able to get through the doors. It might be one that allows itself to passage through. I'll just keep an eye on this for a second, because if it's stuck in here, I'm culling it, because it'll just make this area dirty. Moving home, I guess, and not entirely sure Seen you since last year, but it's been really stressful start of the year, so I can't really remember. I can't remember if I've seen you since last year either, because, like, this year has kind of gone rather quick so far. Like, before I knew it, we were at the Billathon event, and then, yeah, to suddenly just be in February, you know, it's kind of, like, flown by and shit. I might also just copy this zone, and we'll get this down in here too, since this is now looking like it's enclosed. But yeah, it doesn't sound like you're having a good year so far, man. I might need to extend this out by a bit, but that's okay. I don't want it to be the shitty, like, pinks and oranges and shit. I'm trying to get different stockpile zones that are hopefully mostly blue, if I can. So, yeah. Wherever I can, if I can get it to be it, I will do it. Although, I might have a problem trying to get the extra stockpile zones in here, because I had, like, the extra little spots before, and I might not get that again, so we'll see. I was not here for the event this time. Sorry, was it? Was it no broke you like last year? Sorry, what? I can see what you're trying to say there. It's like, sorry, no broke you like last year. It's cool, man. Nah, there was so much, like, conversation and, like, lurking and support and all the things. There was well and truly plenty of distraction going on during the event. And I genuinely will be, I think, 10 weeks out of 3 months, I'll be able to afford food without having to make decisions about whether or not, like, which days I go without and stuff. So yeah, I'll be right. Can you work on the corner there? Or are we missing blocks? We're missing blocks again. Alright, I could put a little fence up on this corner and that could stop the animals from getting in for a few minutes, but I think they're going to go inside and get trapped and then get dead. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, it was fun. It was just, I did RimWorld Rim Connect for 5 days. So the event wasn't as long as last time, but it was fully unlocked to all 8-hour days. And it was just kind of like, try to build a ship. It wasn't chaos this time. It's not like the usual Rim Connect stuff, but we do have a bunch of extra stuff unlocked. The other thing too is we also got unlocked the bonus week of the event right at the, like, last few minutes after we had already launched the ship. So I'm going to do a different event later on, and it will go for a week. It won't be like the 8-hour days. I don't think it'll be like maybe 5 hours or something. That should be maybe later this year. There will be another 8-hour Chaos Rim Connect, obviously. I don't want that to go kaboom in here. Nora, love, can you... cannot already in best pen. Trust me, it's not going to be in a pen yet. This is going to get it dead in here, I'll tell you that much. When it goes down, it's going to go kaboom on everything. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of, like, extra shit go off this year. From the event and stuff anyway. What's the tell self swaggy falls asleep? Something will push it. No. Get your rest if I can. I'll just have to, like, plan some of the stuff in, because, like, I, as always, was, like, not expecting any support to begin with. So I wasn't, like, thinking about when I was going to do stuff. But I do have to add in, I do have to draw and rig my avatar's crown. And what else do we get? Hold on. Let me just take a quick look. Where did I put my thing? They should be able to survive for a hot minute while I look at other shit. Maybe. We'll have 2 Discord movie nights with an old movie edition. And I'll have to do a character reference sheet sometime next year. I'm not piling that into this year because of the rigging and shit that I'm doing. We had all 8 days unlocked. We had the helping me buy food and stuff during the heavy builds time unlocked. I'll have to play Copycat on stream at some point, which is supposedly a very sad game. I don't know how well I'm going to deal with that, but I've got to play that. And we've got a classic 8-hour Chaos Rim Connect stream. So that'll be a one-shot day somewhere in this year where it's just insanity. And I'll just try to keep the colony alive while you guys go ham. I've got to draw the crown and rig that into my live 2D avatar. And yeah, we've got a bonus week of Rim Connect as